Hi, Milliken Wesleyan Church. We are so thankful that you sent us to Thunder Bay, that's Harvest Community Church, to minister and to do missions on your behalf. Thunder Bay is such a wonderful city. It's only about 120,000 people, but it's so diverse, not only in terms of the people that are there, mainly from Denmark, but also you've got the native community that is in Thunder Bay.
Our main focus there was to do a festival, an outreach festival. So the first day we got there, which was a Friday night or afternoon, we did a flyer handout. So they had flyers prepared that told everybody in the community, which was a native community, and this is the community that deals with drugs, alcohol, and other family issues. So we were trying to get them to come to the church to know more about the Lord.
And I think definitely God was there, and I think God just made the people in that area a little bit more aware of the light or who they can go to if they need help.
Pastor Carl and Lorna have been in Thunder Bay for about 25 years, ministering there.
And it is basically a native community. There is a big hill, which is where the reserve is, that you can see throughout Thunder Bay. There is a need for these people to know Jesus.
Pastor Carl and Lorna Edmondson, they are people who serve, who are Christ-like. They love people, and Christ also exude this, showing love to others, and I think that's what draws people to them.
The Central Canada District came alongside Pastor Carl and set the conditions so that he could fulfill his God-given calling to these people. The inner city has all types of people, both the rich and the poor.
And we were handing out flyers. And while we were doing that, we were at one of the malls. And after we went through the mall, we went out into the back part of the mall handing out flyers. And when we first went out to that section, there was a lady sitting on the sort of the bricks of the garden. And he had handed her a flyer. We continued on distributing flyers, and on our way back, we noticed she was still sitting there, and I stopped to talk to her and realized that she didn't look well, and asked her if there was anything we could do to help her. And anyhow, Pastor Carl offered to give her a ride home, so we went and got the car. When we got back to pick her up, she had crossed the street to the other corner and was talking to a social worker. And she was all bent over, could hardly stand, walk. So we managed to get her in the car, and from talking to the social worker, she has an alcoholic problem and some other issues. And so it was decided that she needed to go to the hospital. So Pastor Carl and I did drive her to the hospital, and she was concerned about not having a ride home. So he left his information with the hospital staff, and at supper time, he got the call to come and get her. So he said, "Joanne, let's go. We got to go to the hospital to pick up Sheila." So we did that, and we took her back home and made sure she got into her apartment, told her God bless her, and and for her to come out on Saturday if she felt up to it. It was nice to see her on the Saturday at the barbecue. She was feeling better, and as Pastor Carl said, when we first started doing the flyers, we were at Intercity Mall, where we had been sort of asked to leave by the security guard because we didn't have permission to hand out flyers. So as Pastor Carl said to me, God wanted us at Victoriaville Mall, where Sheila was sitting, needing help, and we were there to help her.
So by us going around and delivering the flyers, we got to talk to people and got to really know who they were and what their spiritual backgrounds were. So it was a fabulous experience to be able to share our experiences with them. And on Saturday, we actually set up the whole event, and we had a yard sale, a barbecue. So we had a ton of stuff, and we had our barbecue, which was hot dogs and sausages, which were fabulous.
We had a wonderful weekend of ministering to the folks, as well as encouraging Pastor Carl and Lorna.
I would also encourage you, members, to love on people, to give, to show Christ by serving, by giving sacrifices. Our trip to Thunder Bay was eye-opener. People who are there, these generally aren't people who are Christians, and Pastor Carl and Lorna have just tried to reach them, and that was their calling to this place.
So when you think about missions and going to your Jerusalem and to your Judea and to your Samaria, think about not only Milliken as your Jerusalem, but Thunder Bay as your Judea. That is Ontario. We have a calling, all of us. We need all of us to pray. We need all of us to give. And we need all of us to go.